somebody is a little jealous. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmental. All right, it is Saturday morning, and today we should be getting our corn stalks, at least our first load of corn stalks. Guy can haul 14 bales, so he's bringing one this morning in about hour and a half, 2 hours. So the first thing we want to do on the list is most likely we're going to have him pull out there where we can unload them, but we want to smooth this out a little bit, knock some of those clumps of crap out of the way, and make it a little easier to get out there. And if you guys can't notice the difference, I did put a new screen cover on because a month or so ago, of course, I was grinding and ruined another one, but I did remember to put an actual screen protector on that cover, so I did that. I did do that, so I did remember. So hopefully it's a little clear, because I'm editing a video this morning. If the sun hit the camera just right, I can see the little spots and I know exactly what they are. All right, here we go. Stalk showed up. All right, so we got our bales. We're gonna get another load next weekend, most likely. But these look like they're all of 5.5 foot bales. Maybe not 6s. They're not 6s because I'm not 6 foot tall. So, but they're decent. I mean, they're decent density. I don't know if they're necessarily shredded, but you know, like a stock shredder or something like that. It probably has a chopping. Some kind of chopper on his head, so because they do look like they're chopped up pretty decent. So nice and dry, pretty dense bales for the price of the bale and the price of the shipping. It's definitely not a bad deal. So we're gonna get another load next week, and then possibly another load after that. So yeah, that worked out good. Nice guy. And he's from the Shawano area, so that's kind of around where Bethany's family lives, so about an hour away. So yeah, turned out good. All right, so we took a little bit of a lunch break. Dad's on his way down. The morning was really nice. This afternoon kind of sucks. Like, the temperature didn't drop, but getting like 20-mile-an-hour gusts. So it's a good thing we're gonna be in the barn, because we're gonna start looking at that little corner project of ours. because we got a couple days coming up where it's gonna be in the 30s, and we could pour that and it's not going to be a huge deal. So this is kind of what we're dealing with. This ledge is just sitting on here, and this is actually like, this is metal right here. This is concrete, this is metal. Because Dad said when he was little, well, not little, but when he was younger, probably in his 20s, and they put these in, that these were actually sections. So that's why there's a metal strip on the bottom. But need to get that other chunk out of there. So this chunk's gonna come out. It's pretty loose. But forming it up, we're just gonna slap a board on one side, slap another board that's a little taller on the other side. We do want to put a couple concrete anchors in there to help prevent that from breaking away. Okay, so we're working in the barn, and I need to come out for this big black pry bar that we keep out by the crib, because we use it on the elevator once in a while. Well, this is exactly what those stupid deer do. Is we put this plywood up here so they can't get in here. They still got their damn nose in here and knock that sucker out. Yeah, the one below it is not there, but we didn't need that one. So, little stinkers. But that's why we keep that plywood there, so that those slats don't fall all the way out and get a bunch of corn on the ground. Because, well, we've had that happen. Alright, so where did we get to? We got this cleaned out. We got 4 anchors in. This one over here, I think we're actually hitting stone, so it couldn't go any further. It's still in like 3/8 of an inch. And really all these anchors are for is help prevent the thing from going in and out. And then ratchet strap was to pull this back into place. And we're actually going to bring the Arccaptain over and really clean these up and see if we can get some welds on here. We're a little afraid that these are cast steel, so they might not weld the greatest. Our other thought was to cross drill all the way through and put a bolt in, but we think we're only engaged by like maybe an inch. So to find that sweet spot would be a little difficult. So the welder would just take all that out of there. So we're gonna give that a whirl. And then really nice, we got all 3 of these gates hung back up. So the green one that got popped off when we were working calves, I had just set it up there. They knocked it down a couple times. That's put back up. This gray one's put back up. That was over here to prevent calves from going through the manger. And then that little red one is right here. So that's the home for that one. And then I got to get this panel out of here, which we also had. So when we were working calves in the fall, that they couldn't go through the manger. We are frazzed early, but that's all right. We're going to feed anyways, because I do have a little bit of running around I got to do tonight, so I wouldn't mind getting done with feeding a little early. So 2 bales for the cows. We're going to make the calves, the main group, go one more day. Let them clean their stuff up. They got a bunch of alfalfa in their mix, and it turned stemmy on them. And every time we have that, the calves, it doesn't matter what it is, they do not like it. So they don't really go at it as well. So that's all right, but we'll give them another day. Fresh bale tomorrow. So steers are getting another bale, and somebody is a little jealous that he's on this side, and not on the other side where Horny is, because she's the one that's in heat. And I've said it before, and this is kind of my reminder for everybody: if you're looking for a little bit of boost in your calves, especially if you're already in a crossbreeding program, using Flex, because they are the most pure Simmentals you can find. So even putting those Flex on our purebreds, we've seen, you know, a little bump in heterosis because there is a little bit of Angus in that background. So if you're just looking for, you know, if you're just that cow-calf operation type, you know, you're just having calves, weaning them off, selling them. If you want a spry calf at birth and you want something a little bit thicker, gives you a little bit of frame but not too much, think about trying a Fleck bull. Trust me, you ain't gonna have an issue with birth weights. Granted, you gotta buy the right type of bull, but there are moderate birth weight friendly Flecks out there. Yeah, there are some Flecks that are gonna give you a little more pounds, but there's definitely gonna be one out there for you to find that'll help all your program. Because this is a purebred out of a Fleck bull, purebred out of a Fleck bull. He's not even one of our better examples of that. He is, and he's looking really good. You know, and you look back there, like that black twin back there, he's a twin and he still turned out really nice. And I think the first thing we noticed was the vigor at birth, using Bruno. I mean, they were 15 minutes, they're up and they're off and running. I mean, not every single one, but I'd say the vast majority. I know everybody thinks they've got their old mindsets of Simmental cattle, especially the traditional looking ones. It's just, it is not that way. Granted, you got to do a little bit of your own research when you're looking at a bull, and hopefully you find a good breeder that kind of knows what they're talking about and knows what they're doing. So that's part of the reason why we do the DNA, and we pick good bulls. We think we pick good bulls, and especially good AI bulls. Yeah, just to piggyback on the Fleck stuff and what you're looking for bulls. Yeah, I mean, we're into 2025. I know calves aren't even on the ground for us yet. Some guys are dropping calves, starting to see them, which is awesome. But it's like once we get into the new year, that's when I really start thinking about, you know, what bulls do I want? I mean, I'm probably looking at bulls and AI sire sites and stuff like that probably on a daily basis. Like, our tank is probably good to go for this year, minus maybe a couple like 5 straws of one or another bull. So, you know, I think between True Justice, Gold Strike, Bold Ruler, we're pretty darn set. But I might grab at least one more bull. For cows, and then probably one Fleck bull, but just like 5 straws or something like that. That's why I like getting 5, because we don't breed a lot of it, so it's a good way to try them out. That's why last year we just said, oh, screw it, we got like 5 Bold Ruler, let's get another 10, because we liked them. And we got 2 good Bold Rulers in here and a nice heifer out there that's gonna have a calf. But I think really starting to look at, you know, who's gonna do your work for you this year. Do you got the bull? Do you need to look for one? Because now's the time to at least start getting those wheels turning. You know, if you have an idea of what you want to use, maybe finding that good breeder. I'd say kind of shy away from sale barn bulls, just like run-of-the-mill sale barn bulls. But if there are good quality bulls from good breeders at a sale barn, definitely take a look. Try and get some info and background on them. Kind of start doing your research. If you don't know of a good breeder in your area, I always have the Fleckvieh Federation and the American Simmental Association linked in the description. It's always there. You can always click there and go through the directories and find a person near you. Even if they're in there and they don't necessarily have stuff to sell, they might be able to point you in a good direction. Like, you know, hey, we don't have a bull, but this guy has really good genetics and he's only like a half hour from me, or he's an hour from me. You know, here's his name and number, here's how to look him up, that kind of stuff. Because typically anytime I've had questions from anybody in the Simmental and specifically Fleckbreed, they're great people and usually like to share their wisdom, especially when they get to talk about their own animals. That's just my food for thought for today. So we're at the end of the day. I'm gonna go and finish some stuff because we got some bumming around to do tonight, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hey, good morning. All right, it is Sunday morning. Jeepers. I gotta get the air compressor going again. And my heater just fell off its spot. Okay, I think that's sturdy. I gotta put a little air in Bethany's tires in her car. She works from home, so she doesn't necessarily drive her car all that much, and this is the first time all winter I've had to do it. So on the dock for today, we want to bring that Arccaptain welder over. Got a pretty decent extension cord and a close enough outlet, and we're gonna try and tack that manger section together. Alright, so we're going to try and take advantage of the Arccaptain, the 120, 220 capability. We're going to try and weld it here and over there, same down there. I got a bunch of this swept up here. I got a little bit of sweeping right down by Dad's feet. So we're gonna see how this goes. This is some pretty old and dirty metal. Hopefully it works. Yeah, try it. Oh, we tripped a breaker. And I'm not sure what amp breaker this is on. But we also do have it on it's like a 50-foot extension cord to the outlet, which that's not good either. But it is a pretty heavy duty one. Oh, this is only a 15 amp breaker. So I thought that one was 20. So that actually went pretty darn well. One little hiccup, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Just kind of keep an eye out, make sure there weren't any sparks that got into any hay or dust or anything. But it's so cold in here, it's like once sparks hit anything, they were cooled off in a heartbeat. Got most of the stuff cleaned up around it, but there's still, you can't get it all. And the sparks weren't flying too far, so we're not too worried, but gotta do a little figure in and stuff, so we're gonna be in here for another half an hour anyway, so it don't matter. All right, so our Arccaptain 200 did pretty darn decent considering the conditions. Tripped the breaker twice, but again, it's a 15 amp breaker. We have it on a 50-foot extension cord, so I mean, part our problem, and part probably should be on a 20 amp breaker. Did have one small hiccup. And not sure if this was just a little bit operator error, or if it was just the way that this cord was looped or whatever, but it got bound up in here, so we had to it kind of like looped down. So we had to cut it, pull out the wire this way and feed it back through. Not a huge deal, but that was literally the only little hiccup that guy had. But honestly, there's hardly any light in that barn, so there's a little operator light in there that comes on, and that's super handy to have in there. So if you guys need a handy dandy welder that can do 220 or 120, Arccaptain 200, it's pretty decent. We're finding it pretty darn handy around the farm. Okay. That little welder is just, when I got it, I originally bought it as a good complement to the Hobart welder that we have, which has just done the heavy lifting over all the years. But it does have a couple little limitations, and some of that is some of the thinner stuff. But other than that, you know, that's still going to be the main welder. But that Arccaptain is just, it's turned into a handy guy to have around. I know they run deals. I'll put the link in the description to the Amazon link and also to the Arccaptain link, because they're always running deals. This little bold ruler bowl in here, with a heifer in here in the main group being in heat, and then Horny also being in heat yesterday. They've been goofing around, the bulls have been playing around, and he's been kind of taking the brunt of the abuse, since he is a little bit the smaller guy in there. But I think he'll turn out. I mean, when you look at these four, I mean, this is the mic drop. He's actually starting to come on a little bit in size, but you know, first calf heifer, mature cow, the Eagle's out of mature cow, but then the bull ruler's out of a first calf heifer. So, you know, I'm not saying I'm giving them passes, but you know, sometimes if there's a little lack in performance or something like that, you know, you kind of got to think about, okay, the whys. Why is he maybe a little bit smaller? Well, because he's out of a first calf heifer. You know, the genetics are still there, and he's still going to turn out well.